So hello everybody, this is the Tabletop Experiment. I am the DM, Joseph Carlson. I am joined by three incredible men. Todd, Jay, who's playing Uriel. We got Jesse W, who's playing Martok. And we got Christian Reynolds, who's playing Swami. You'll see what they're playing. I took the symbols directly from D&D Beyond, so that's just a hint on the classes they're playing. I actually don't know what number this is because we're recording these episodes ahead. And in the order, I don't know what episode. So whatever it says in the description, that's when I figured that out. So what it says in the 10 is what it'll be when it posts. So everybody out there figured out, the one person that's watching this. So just to recap really quickly, you guys, if you're looking at my stream on Discord, you can see that this is the area of High Hill where the battle is going to take place. You guys found the notes that kind of had X's around the edges with different monetary values. So that corresponded with somebody, but you guys were up in the hills in these areas kind of casing the battlefield. So you kind of know the lay of the land. There's woods all up where this flowery whatever is. That's all surrounded by woods, but it goes down into this flat area with these, just like it shows in the picture, these curved walls and the shrubbery and stuff. That's all there. So you guys were kind of done casing the place, if I remember right, and you have decided to go back to down to the town of Vogler proper. It's south of where you are. There's like a game trail going down. Did I forget anything? Is there anything you guys want to, talk about a little bit? Rose is with you. Jesse, I'm just reminding you because you always seem to forget about Rose, who is actually a party member that is traveling with you. Just want to point that out again. I'll do it every episode if you want me to. I don't care.
Yeah, I forget about Rose.
You're like, wait, can we take her money? Yeah. Like, yeah, I get she's an NPC, but so that's go ahead.
I was just going to say, so yeah, I think after we got done casing the place, we had went down into the village,
right,
to rest and then wake up the next morning and figure out what we were going to do.
Right. Is there anything else you guys want to do before you go down? Like I said, Rose is with you. You have your horses. Remember, you got the horses from Ladira. She gave you the exact amount of horses you need basically to get to town because she was from Vogler, and she said, well, if everything you're telling me is true about this attack, I don't want anything to happen to, where I grew up. So take these horses, go. You guys have them. Do you want to take them down? Like I said, is there anything you want to...
Don't we need to turn in her horses, give them back to the people? So...
Right, Buck. Buck was
the stable master.
Yeah, Buck was the stable master. I'm going to check my notes really quick, but I believe his name was Buck. That's not his...
Hey, Buck. Come here, boy.
Yeah, Buck was the stable master. So... yeah, she said just turn them into them. And remember, you guys have Reese's heirlooms or, that chest of family things you were going to turn into town. Somebody was going to alert him to, hey, your stuff's been turned in. He said he's really well known and respected. So, yeah. So
I think we...
Go ahead.
Oh, I don't think there's anything left here.
Okay.
But we do have a plan to, come back.
Right.
Yeah, so I think we were going into town to get rest and then kind of prepare ourselves, get any kind of, because I was going to see about getting some equipment while we were there. And then we start doing our stuff.
Okay. I'm going to switch slides now. So as you can look at the map, you're riding south down this game trail to High Hill, or, from High Hill to... Vogler. This is the town of Vogler, basically. You see the river gate. You guys will be entering in the river gate if you can see that from the stream. You're way up north in the northwest here coming down. As you guys are kind of riding, everybody's just kind of silently riding, and you guys hear the clippity clop of it would be like a donkey kind of behind you. Yeah. And because you guys are riding, you can hear it behind you. You hear a clanking of a pack or something, and like a broken bell, that doesn't have the, it doesn't jingle. It just hits against skin, but you can hear it behind you as you guys are kind of cresting over the hill going down.
And you take a look.
Yeah, you guys can ride 2 and 2. By the way, that's the room on the road you have. Yeah, you guys look back and you see Tarek kind of coming over, and he literally is on a donkey with like this big pack of stuff on either side, and he like you guys look at him and he waves, and then his donkey kind of like kicks a little, and he kind of like comes up like behind you guys, and he's like, "Oh, you're on the road. I'm kind of glad I met up with you. I take it you guys are going to
Yeah.
Vogler?"
Well, obviously we're here by the gate. No, we're just passing through.
Well, you're not to the gate yet. You're
Of course
going
you're
down
going.
this game trail or whatever. He's like,
Like what? But it terminates at Vogler, and there's nothing else. See, it's surrounded by water.
he's like, yeah, I can see you went to school. He's kind of right.
Yeah, we're gonna get on a boat and keep going.
He's like, well, they do rent them there. Yeah. He said, how'd it go on the road?
What good? Met an old lady. The lady gave us some horses. Ooh.
He's like, an old lady, huh? That's interesting. He goes, are you guys going to stay for the Kingfisher Festival? That's what I'm headed towards. I really want to win that fishing competition. And you see, like, in his pack, he's got like a, one of those like telescope fishing poles, like packed in his donkey pack or whatever.
What's the prize?
He's like, well, for me, they try to give you a little bit of money. It's not really about that for me. It's just to be able to say that you beat a town of fishermen at fishing. That's what I'm for.
I respect that.
He's like, because he goes, if you go to the fishbowl, which is where they all hang out and drink and talk about, the one that got away, I want to be the one that they're like, that bearded guy from up north beat us. But they're not going to say that, but I'll know. Besides, and he's like riding with his donkey. He's like, there was an elvish man there named Peck, and I swear that he was cheating, and I want to catch him. I want to catch him, and I want to win the competition.
Do you cheat?
So wait a minute, are you saying the elf was cheating?
I think so. I don't know how.
How do
He
you think he was
cheated
cheating?
fishing.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know what? There's a
We
lot.
should go find that out.
He's like,
That's a great thing.
He's like, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of spells, and these men are fishermen, and they depend on the wind. They pray to certain gods for the catch to be bountiful. They submit things to the sea all the time. I think there's some shenanigans going on. I'm gonna figure it out. I think he's cheating.
Let me ask you, is there any rules against using any kind of means to catch the fish?
Unofficial, because again, at the fishbowl, all the men and women there that fish will give each other a hard time until they enter their grave. It's a small town, somewhat. There's no really real rules, but it's more of a handshake agreement. So I think he's cheating though. And you see him just shake his head. He's like, I think he's cheating. And then he looks at you, Martok, and he's like, what did you guys find when you were on the road? Did you fight anything or anything?
Found an old lady. Old lady gave us some horses to get here.
You see him smirk a little bit. He's like, old lady, all right.
I look over and say, I didn't say old lady. It was all more top.
I just want to be very clear. I didn't discourage. I didn't disparage her. He's like,
and she said she was 600 years old. So I mean, for human standards, that's pretty up there. For elf standards, that's probably like, I don't know, a young sprout or something.
Right.
But yeah, we found the merchant caravan and got the map. We had to negotiate and do like little air quotes around my head to get the map. And then, so this was one of the spots marked. So we came here, and this place is going to be, attacked in a couple days, probably.
What did the people you were negotiating with look like?
Weren't they goblins?
Wait a
minute.
They were your kin.
Which
They're dragons, right? Oh yeah, dragon kin.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's what I was saying. Which time were we talking about the negotiations? Because we negotiated multiple times.
We're such good negotiators too.
And on two of them occasions, we came up with a map.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
but my kind.
He's like,
Dragonborn.
Yeah, but they look like evil people. They didn't look like friendly Martok type people. They look
Hey,
like
who you calling
angry
friendly?
ones.
Keep your compliments to yourself, sir.
Hey, you shut your whore mouth and you take that compliment.
That's more like it.
Yeah, that's how we should be. He says, "Well, can I speak plainly?" And he's kind of like riding with you guys. Like his donkey kind of saunters up a little bit. He's like, "Do you mind if I
Sure.
speak plainly?" He's like, "Mark, talk. To be honest, the creatures you fought, your kin, there'll be more of them. There's already talk on the road of those people attacking other groups of travelers. So, what do you say to a little bit of a bargain? What if I give you another gift?"
What kind of gift?
Well, I think actually you two will be okay, but I really think this is for Martok. I'm afraid that he might get stabbed on the road if he gets confused for the people that you were negotiating with.
It's quite
That'd be unfortunate
understandable
for
considering
other people.
they'd very much think it was him.
He said, "Here." He goes, "This is going to sound really strange," but he said, "Don't worry about your horse, Martok. Close your eyes and think of something. Think of another race, another species, another ancestry, whatever comes to mind." And he said, when you open your eyes, I'm going to flip you a coin. When you grab the coin, that's what you're going to look like. Keep the coin on you at all times. It'll be a little bit of a feint. It won't affect any of your fighting ability or prowess on the field, but it'll just make sure that if people see someone like you, they're not just going to immediately stab at you. That would be terrible because I've given you these gifts and I would hate to have to pick them up off a dead body or your friends to do it. That would be pretty tragic.
We definitely pick it up.
That's true.
By the way, as a side note, I forgot to ask you guys this. When I gave you those stats for your swords, were you adding those to your attacks and everything that last combat we did?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't
You didn't?
use my sword last time.
Oh, that's right. You were spelling. Well, just to let you guys know, I messed around with it a little bit more in D&D Beyond. In the custom section, when you write up a custom item, you can affect the 2 hit and 2 damage bonuses on it. So you can add +1, +2, whatever to whatever item you create custom like. So you can make, and then it'll add it to your normal bonuses and minuses and all that kind of stuff. So that's just a note. So that way, you don't have to do extra math when you're fighting. Just want to make you guys aware. Also, Christian, remember, you have 2 extra sorcery points that will go up with your proficiency thing. And so there's a chart, which I'll share with you after the game, how you can swap some points for spell slots. So I think first level slots are 2 points. So if you take 2 sorcery points, you can convert it to 1 first level spell slot. When you get to a second level spell slot, it obviously takes 4. Like, it gets exponentially more, but there's other things you'll be able to also do with those later. This also doesn't affect your shield. You can do both things independently. You can bring your shield up for a minute and convert your extra sorcery points to spell slots. So it's not, you don't have to take an action. It won't ruin anything. I'm just letting you know. So, so what, Martok, what do you want to look like? This is just like a glamour. So you would look, like a human or an elf or even a halfling, but you would still be dragonborn. This is just a safety precaution.
I'll look like a large Norseman.
Kind of like what Tarek looks like because he's like broad shouldered and has a beard and everything and has like gray hair. Do you go like blonde hair type thing?
Yeah, well, I mean, my guy is like pure white, right? So he's gonna have like silvery,
so you just make
light hair, like a Norseman, like a Viking.
So you just basically make your hair the color of your skin right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and as a reaction, you can snap your fingers and it'll drop away, and you can snap your fingers again and it'll come back. So if you're tired of looking like a Norseman, you can look like yourself.
Got it.
Just don't accidentally snap in the wrong place.
Yeah, don't sing along.
Oh, yeah.
Don't sing along to music. Yeah, don't sing along to music or anything. Like, yeah.
Is it literally a snap that I'd make, or is it like I have to mentally?
I said it's a snap, but I'll let you just mechanically whatever you want. Maybe you speak a word, like whisper something, or maybe you grab the coin that he gave you, or whatever. I'll let you mechanically decide what that is. But he's basically just making a phrase of, yeah, with the snap of a finger you can change, but it doesn't have to be a snap. I'll let you decide what you want that to be. So
Gotcha. All right.
You guys get to, he rides with you, and he's like, I don't, he said, I will tell you guys, though, honestly, before we get to the river gate, the brass crab does actually have good crabs. That's not a clever name. They're literally right on the docks. It's delicious. Get the soup. He's like, they have a good seafood chowder. And he's like sitting by the gate, and as you guys approach the gate, there's just 2 guards there. And as you can see, if you're looking at the map, if you look to the right, you see Thornwall Keep, which is kind of this like dilapidated fort, but it looks like it's seen better days. You do see a couple of workmen. It's getting to be afternoon. It looks like they're putting their tools away, like it's spring, so the sun isn't out that long yet. It's not the height of summer. They're putting their tools away. There's kind of a chill in the air, but you see they're doing some repairs to it. You see a person, you see 2 people outside. You see the backs of their armor. One is like a taller, it looks like a female, and one's like a shorter, they're both humanoid, and they both appear to be looking at blueprints, talking to the workers as they're packing up. And you kind of like see them turn around, and they tend to go, you see them like in the distance hit the trail to go into town, like you can see on the map. And so you guys get to the river gate, and there's 2 guards there. And as soon as you get to the river gate, they stand at attention. They just have like regular leather armor. They have helms, so you can't really see what race they are really that well. But they're like medium height, and they have big pikes, So you guys get to the gate, and they're like, who goes there?
And I go, hail, fellow human. I'm a human, just like you.
Oh God!
Rose is like, you're doing great. No, I don't.
and I'll just turn around and give him a cheesy thumbs up.
It's yeah, you're doing good, man. You're doing good. Yeah, it's so good. They're like, are you here for the Kingfisher Festival?
Yes, we are.
Oh, well then, they go, come this way, and they like they open the gate. They're like, do you need a flyer of events?
Yes, I would like one.
Oh, and you see the guy, like, he's got like a parchment, and he just he like pulls one out of like there's like a small like pitcher. It's like an old beer pitcher. There's like a little table. He pulls it out and he hands it to you. And it's basically the Vogler Gazette that you saw from before, that you pillaged off the Dragonkin or whatever. And this is just like upcoming events, and it's got today's date on it, and it says tonight there's a festival for the dead. And after that, tomorrow will be like the fishing contest. There's like an eating contest, like all this kind of stuff, like all the festivities, there'll be like a sack race, stuff like that on the,
Nice.
So it's like a thing of events. And as you guys go through, you see, you guys with your passive insight, you notice that they look at Tarek as he goes through, and he just nods to them and like goes through, and he's like after the gate closed, he's like, "Are you guys going to turn your horses in?"
I mean, yeah, we have to go to the stable master, and then to the merchant, and then to the mayor of this place.
Oh, yeah, we got to get he goes, I got to get Steve some water. And he like pats the donkey on the neck as he's riding or whatever. He's like, yeah, he's been on the road for a bit. You guys get to the stable. It's pretty much there's one right by the river gate. I'll put it right by that weird house with the green X on it. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right. Actually, I took away my
I don't see.
It's so if you look at the river gate, you go south a little bit down the main road. There's like some shrubs, and then right off to the right of the shrubs, there's like a house with like a green box with an X in it. I'll say that's the stables.
Okay.
He like goes in, and you see Buck there, and Buck is he's a huge Goliath, just ripped. Goliaths are like half giants, Christian. So they're like these huge guys. He's got these weird like tats all over his body, and you see him literally he's like more giant than half. He literally is just holding the back of this horse while he's putting shoes on it. It is not moving. So he's basically manhandling a horse to be like, don't move while I put this on. He sees you guys, and you see these little kids are like, they're playing like fake swords through the sables. They're like, and they're running through. He's like, get out, and they like run out. And he puts he like puts the horse's leg down and pats the horse. He sees you guys, and he like wipes his hands. He's got an apron. He's like, how can I help you, gentlemen and lady?
Like, are you Buck?
I am Buck.
Well, Buck, this wonderful elvish lady loaned us her horses and said that if we gave them back to you, you would understand. And I look over at them and I was like, what was her name again? I'm horrible with names.
I'm as horrible with names as you.
Ladira?
Yeah.
Oh, Ladira?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, we have room. It's only 1 copper to stable your horses. We'll give them feed. We'll make sure they're dry. We keep them here overnight. We have a watch. Make sure they have food and everything. Unless you have any other special accommodations, we can do that. If you want us to brush them or anything, that's fine.
They were her horses.
Oh, all right.
I'll pay the copper or whatever that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll still give the copper, but I was just explaining. Yeah, they're not our horses; they're her horses.
Okay. He's like, fair enough. He like, you hear him like, he does the finger thing and he whistles. I can't do that. He whistles. You see a kid run out. It's like this little, even you guys know, you've seen Kender before. They do look like kids. They're kind of like the height of halflings, but this is a child Kender. And he's like, Mickey. And you see him run out. He's like, yeah. And he's like, take the horses. And he goes, okay. And he like grabs the things from you guys, and you see him bring them back into they have like an indoor stable, it's covered. He's taking them into stalls, and he's like locking the stalls. He's like, Buck's like, anything else? He like takes a copper from you, Martok. He's like, anything else? He puts it in his apron.
I give him the copper too.
Oh.
It's do you have any good deals on horses? Maybe we could get our own.
Well, let me check the ledger. We've had a couple people come in, but to be honest, not a lot of fishermen come through here and need horses. But I'll see. There could be some people that are willing to sell. Like I said, I'll check my books. I've had some people come in lately.
Excellent. All right, we're not wealthy, so it's going to have to be a horse on a budget. You know what I mean?
You see him put his hands over, and he like laughs. He goes, "Well, to be honest, they're not good horses, so I think it'll be a good deal."
We're gonna run a wreck.
He's like, "Well, enjoy the Kingfisher Festival, gentlemen and lady." And you see Rose just nods, and he's like, "Oh," and then he sees Tarek. He's like, "Sir," he's like, "Would you like me to take your donkey?" And you see Tarek get off. He's like, "That would be great." And you see him just pull like the sacks off the donkey and like put it over his shoulder. And he's like with the fishing pole, and he's like, yes. He goes, and could you brush him? He's a little bit older. He's very picky. And he's like, of course, that'll be another copper. And you see Tarek reach into his pouch and like just give him copper. And he's like, thank you. He's like, thank you, Steve. And he looks at the donkey. He's like, mind your manners. And he's like, all right, let's go. He's like, well, where do you guys want to go? He goes, we could go to the fishbowl, the mayor's house. I recommend the fishbowl just because you're going to probably hear the most amount of, you guys are like walking out of the stables, He's like, you probably hear the most juicy gossip there. He goes, or you could go to the Brass Crab again. The seafood soup is amazing. I recommend going there, but that's also where they're having the festival for the dead. So if you go there, just be respectful.
I think, do we have, I have a couple things I'd like to sell, just out to get it off my bag.
Oh,
real quick.
Of course.
I'd like a couple of things to buy.
Fair enough. He says, let me see what I can do about that. He's like, this place is kind of a small town, so there's really not a lot, but there is a market across from right on the wharf. There's a market.
I'm sure they could exchange things. They might not have a lot of gold, but I mean, like we could barter.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, guys, looking at the map, why don't we stop at the mayor's office before we head over to start doing that? That way we can just go kind of in a line.
Perfect.
If that's good with everybody, I don't know.
Yeah, Tarek's like,
yeah, we're with it. We're all with it.
Tarek's like, I've already met the mayor. I'm gonna go get some soup. I'll see you guys at the Brass Crab. If not, I'll see you guys probably at the Fishbowl.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
So he like just takes off. He's like just walking, you know, and he's got again plain clothes on.
What was that guy's name?
Tarek. Tarek?
Eric.
No, Tarek. T-A.
Oh, T.
T-A.
Oh, yeah. T-A-R-E.
Yeah, T-A Rick.
Got it.
So you guys want to go to the mayor's house?
Sure, it's the closest.
Okay. You go to the mayor's house and people are outside. Like, you seem that everybody, it's like as you have kind of been walking through, the sun's kind of going down a little bit more, and you guys see that people are kind of walking through town, but you see people are kind of somber, and you see that no matter what path you walk down or like what side street, there's like those kind of, it wouldn't be a tiki torch, but they're kind of like pole braziers, if that makes sense. So they're just like lit braziers like on a stick all the way through town, like snaking through like the markets. You can look down any street and you see them all lit. So wherever anybody goes, it's well lit. There's no dark alleys or anything. And you see people are walking through town, and you seem everybody give me an insight check actually. And I have a D&D Beyond now, so I know what you guys rolled. If my internet works.
10.
9.
13.
Yeah, with that, I mean, with your passive insight, you kind of realize that like everybody for this fishing town, like everything you've heard, it's a very small town. People are very, you know, they're what's the word? They live like kind of a more simple life. They don't really bring in a lot of money. People live in hand to mouth. It looks like everybody you're seeing is dressed what they would consider like nice clothing, you know, like you see one guy even has like a suit and tie, but it's kind of tattered. You see kids running through with like a nice pants without dirt in them, you know, they've tucked in whatever. You see even people are like waving and nodding to people or like shaking hands. And there's a lot of like serious handshaking and like people patting each other on the arm and hugging. And you see people just like walking through town. Like you don't hear any yelling. Nobody's raising their voice. It's like pretty quiet. You can hear the water way off near the wharf. The waves gently going back and forth. Like it's pretty just quiet this evening. But you guys get to the mayor's house. And you see this woman come out, and she's like kind of looking around, and you see she's got like nicer clothes obviously than anybody else, and she has like a parchment in her hand, and she's like has it rolled up, and it rolls down, and she's like talking to people, and people are coming up to her and like shaking her hand, and she's like nodding and stuff. She just looks at everybody and whatever, and like is just greeting people as they're coming by. Some people are handing her parchments, rolled up parchments, and she's nodding and like taking them. And she's got like a scroll case, and she's like rolling stuff up, putting them all together. And you see her kind of like lock her door because she was right outside her door. You see her lock her door, and then it appears that she like hits a trail, and she's basically heading to the fishbowl.
Is that the mayor?
Yeah. You see everybody like whispering, and you kind of like with your insight, you hear and go, "Oh, hello, Mary," and stuff like that. And she's like, "Hello," and everybody's kind of whispering. You know, they're not like raising their voice or anything.
I guess let's follow. Yeah. Yep.
Do you want to say anything to her, or just? like keep away, like back from her,
Excuse me, Mayor.
Okay.
or she turns around. She's like, oh. She looks at all of you. She's like, oh, some new faces. Hi. She's like,
Hello.
are you new to? Are you here for the Kingfisher Festival?
Yes, we are.
She's like, oh, well, it's very nice to meet you. I'm Raven Vogler. It's nice to meet you.
Hello,
It's
Raven.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, she's
I'm
like,
Uriel.
oh, nice to meet
These
you.
are my friends.
Oh, well, she's like, I'm glad you're here. We always like, we always like new people to come to town. I hope you enjoy the Kingfisher Festival. Are you here for the celebration of the dead tonight, or are you just going to?
Well, so we're here kind of with some dire news, and
And
we
you-
need to speak to you.
She's walking.
in
You guys are like, it's a walk and talk. You guys didn't stop.
Yeah, it's a walk and talk.
Yeah, it's a walk and talk.
And we need to kind of have a discussion about what we've discovered. You'll be very interested.
Oh, okay, yeah. If you
A table would be good.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I was just gonna go to the fishbowl and check in with the innkeeper and some people. So yeah, we could do that. She goes, so have you guys where are you guys headed from? I mean, where did you come into town from?
The river.
Yeah,
gate.
where did we come from?
I mean, you could just say north. I mean, you came.
We came from up north.
Oh.
Yep.
She's like, is it true what I've heard on the road? Is it dangerous out there? We've been trying to lock our gates a little bit earlier than we normally do.
It has been very dangerous.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, that's troubling. I'll have to tell my guards to, keep an extra eye out. Maybe we'll have to double a watch or something.
Which is also one of the reasons why we're here.
Oh, well, maybe you're right. Maybe the table is a good thing.
Yep. Table first. And we'll let you know what's happening.
Well,
And maybe a bowl of fish as well while we're at it.
Oh,
no, that's over at the other place.
Well, the fishbowl does have food, but just kind of like as you guys are walking, you see just with your passive wisdom and all that, the fishbowl looks a little run down. This is what you consider to be a D&D dive bar. So the fishermen, this is the rough and tumble place the fishermen go to drink after they come in. The Brass Crab is like the nice place where everybody goes and eats. The fishbowl people drink. The Brass Crab people stay, and they actually have rooms at the Brass Crab. So this is where people just go to get messed up, and after they come in and they tell stories. It's all about that. I got him. He got away, and he was X big, and he was it's all these old fisher. The people that are fishing are trying to outdo each other, and they.
I'd like to go get a drink there real quick.
Oh yeah,
I'll get a drink.
Yeah, you guys are all heading there anyway. So yeah, you guys are all heading there.
Yes, I tell the mayor, I said, ma'am, while you're going and meeting with the innkeeper and discussing what you need to, we'll grab a table and we'll prepare to let you know what we know.
Yeah, so you guys come in and it is it's packed, but again, you get that sense of like there's a lot of like you can just when you look at people and you're like, I know exactly what this person does. These are all fishermen, the messed up skin from being on the water, their hair's all messed up. Even, and what's weird is you do see kids in here with their parents when you go to the fishbowl. And again, a lot of people are drinking, but you don't hear any stories.
With kids around?
Yeah, there's kids in this bar.
Bro, they reckless.
Get a sitter. But you notice
You ain't never been to a bar with kids?
you apparently not.
Oh, God.
But what you notice is, I mean, again, I'm not gonna make you roll. You're kind of taking all this in. You smell like the peanuts and like stale beer and stuff. But the kids are all drinking like cider, like apple cider, not hard cider. And the kids are like running around playing, and the adults are just like quietly talking. You do notice some people in the corner of the place kind of look like they've been crying, or they're a little bit disoriented. It looks like, or like they're kind of trying to bring it together. The the proprietor of the fishbowl, you see this human who's like this older guy, and he looks he shuffles. He doesn't walk. He's got like balding, gray hair. His clothes are tattered, and you see him just carrying a tray of ale with cups on it that looks like it weighs more than he does. And he brings it over a table and he sets all the ale down. And you guys hear somebody in the like next to him say, "Thank you very much, Uncle." And he's like, "You're welcome. You're welcome very much." And then he goes back and is pouring whatever, and he's getting like bowls of peanuts and stuff ready, and he's getting another tray. And someone comes up to the bar, like this elf comes up, and he's like, I just need one more. And he's like, all right, I'll get fine. And he like pours him one and hands it. He's like, there you go. And you see the elf walk by.
Is that the elf Tarek was talking about?
An alcoholic.
Dun,
Right
dun, dun. Yeah.
Eating elf.
Elves in town right here. Yeah. It's gotta be. He's the only one. Now there's a lot of elves in town. Yeah. So he gets a beer, and the Raven comes in, and she kind of quickens her pace when she goes in, and she starts whispering to him, and you hear him whispering back, and then he goes to he's at the bar. He reaches into their bar and pulls out a rolled up parchment and hands it to her. She, you see her unscroll it, read it. She gets really somber. She taps him on the shoulder and then rolls it back up and puts it in her scroll case. And then she says, she like spins around. I don't know if you guys are going right to the bar, if you're right behind her, if you're hanging back. Are you guys hanging back? Are you?
I'm going to the bar.
Okay.
I want to hear some stories.
You see her do all this, and she's like, she's like, Uncle? And he goes, yes. And she says, whatever they drink, it's on me tonight. They're guests. They're new for the Kingfisher Festival. This is the first time they've ever
we're
been.
We're getting pour up, you guys. Drinks on her?
Rounds on her?
Pour up.
Todd, just to let you know, you're like sinking in your chair, and I just see your head. More and more of you, like the more you sink in your head, the more of your body is disappearing, and it's just your head looking out over a monitor. Anyway, yeah, she talks to him, kind of goes over everything. He gives her the thing, and she goes, yes, you guys can stay here, but you said we needed a table. We needed to talk of something. If you just wait here for a moment, I have to go across to the Brass Crab. It'll just be about a half hour if you'll wait here, and I'll definitely give you all the time you want. Just give me 1/2 hour, please.
Did we just go to the Brass Crab? All of us?
Well, remember the drink's here on her, so if you guys want to get a couple of drinks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's stick around.
Why look a gift beer in the mouth, right? Like I'm gonna take that.
Want us over?
Yeah. You see the guy. He's like, oh, you're the guest of the mayor, Raven. I'm Uncle. It's nice to meet you all.
Hello, Uncle.
No, yeah,
I'm Uriel.
He says, "Well,
this is Tarek, and this is Swami,
oh.
and this lady over here is Rose. Very nice to meet you."
And you see Rose come up, and he's like, "Rose, I don't want to lie, but my real name is Elthar. Everybody here calls me Uncle, so I just started introducing myself like that. You're too pretty to lie to." And Rose is like, you see Rose blush a little bit, and she actually puts her cloak up. Everybody give me an investigation check, please. And here they come. Wow.
9.
Whoa. Martok, you noticed that when people were talking and very quiet, when Rose came in, she's wearing her red robes of the Mage of High Sorcery. They seem to turn and look at her, and people start whispering a little bit more and being a little bit more quiet around
her. Looks like you got some fans, Rose.
She's like,
you got some fans around here.
She just says, you hear her whisper. She's like, you speak Draconian, right?
Yep.
She says in Draconian, I'm very used to it.
Oh, okay.
Hockey, huh?
She says in Draconian, as long as if the money spends and they give me an ale, I'm good with it.
Sounds
That's
good.
what's up.
All right.
So you,
Yeah.
Uncle, he's like,
Uh,
would you like our house special or just the standard ale? We're running a special. He's like, you don't have to pay, but we have a special ale tonight
House
for.
special all night. House special.
He says it just
Keep 'em coming.
to be honest, he goes if it was too special, he said we never get any fish into past the docks. So
First off, what's in the house special?
he's like, "Oh, it's just regular ale. It just we had some fishermen that are a little bit better at brew this and it's a little bit tastes a little bit better. They actually import, they get honey and things and do like more craft
Okay.
brewing. He's very much like
Okay.
it's a little bit more craft than we're used to, but he says they do care. He says, but we have the normal ale that we go with that we get in every week from our good people at Kalaman. It's been slowing down a bit lately, but we still get some in. And tonight's all drinks are half off, but of course you don't have to worry about that. But tomorrow they'll be half off as well. So if you guys want to come and get more drinks during the Kingfisher Festival, everything is half off.
We'll take the. I'll take
me
the
get a-
house
yeah.
special,
Yeah, let
All
me
right.
get a drink.
House special all around.
and then I'll go claim a table
All right.
for us all.
You guys sit down and everybody give me roll a d4. You know what? Actually, I'll do it. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? Everybody gets inspiration.
Inspiration.
Christian, do you know how that works?
Inspiration.
If you look up at the top of your character sheet, there should be a box like in the middle that says inspiration. And if you click it, it should look like a sun rising. It should light up like a sun rising.
Yep, got it.
So what this is, if you have inspiration, at any time if you roll poorly, you can spend a point of inspiration and re-roll any roll. An attack roll, a saving throw,
And how long does that stay for?
until you only get 1 point of inspiration. When you burn it, you have it forever until you use it. But
Okay.
I decide when you get inspiration. So depending on what a good DM I am, which we all know that's true. Anyway, no, if I'm a good DM, I will give out inspiration. I like giving out inspiration. I also like giving out temporary hit points. Plus, we've all felt good. I've said it before, but everybody's had that meal where you're like, man, that was good. I feel great. So that's basically what's happening. You guys are kind of like, sipping the beer going, man, this is really good. This is really good. Like it's not high alcohol. It's just got a good taste. So, it is beer, but it's got a really crisp taste. It's cold. You don't see any, the cask that he poured from had ice on it, but obviously you don't know where that came from. But, yeah, it's just refreshing. You guys are like, man, this is great. Does anybody want to like eavesdrop, or are you guys talking amongst each other, or?
Keeping an ear open.
Okay. Whoever wants to do that, give me an investigation check.
All right. No whammies.
I'll use divine sense to find
Ooh.
if there's
Oh,
an
God.
evil within 60 feet.
5.
I got 19.
I'm not hearing a damn thing.
Yeah, it just sounds for you, Swami. It just sounds like it's kind of even. It seems like right because of Rose. Maybe they're speaking a little bit quieter near you, and there's a lot of drinking and yeah. Sorry. Before I get to you, Todd, Jesse, you did divine sense.
Yep.
You're trying to see if there's any good. Does that do good people or just gods or bad people, or what does that do?
Actually, I'll use it when that main lady comes back, and then I'll.
Oh,
do it.
Raven,
So-
the mayor, Raven.
Yeah, once Raven comes back, I'll save it for that. So it detects good and evil.
Okay.
And then it senses anything. Sense anything affected by the hollow spell or known. You know the location of any celestial fiend, undead, within 60 feet. Yep.
Okay.
That's not behind total cover.
Okay. Todd, with your 19, Uriel, you hear a lot of people talking a lot about the road. They've heard things. It's kind of like the table next to you. There's 4 fishermen. Their kids are running around, literally playing tag. And then when the kids kind of get too fast, like one of the dads or the moms, kind of reach over and grab them. And they're like, okay, you can play, but just slow down. And they're like, okay. And then they go back to playing, like running through the tables. But as they're sitting there, they're talking about, I heard that a group of men, like just regular men, were put in a cage and taken to a camp. And the other one's like, I've heard that if you just go on the road, you get attacked. It seems like most people have to have some kind of guards with them now just to trade. And they're kind of like murmuring amongst each other. And then you hear one guy, he says, I heard there's soldiers marching. And they're like, no, they're like, William, you always say soldiers are marching. Once you get two of those in you, you always say soldiers are marching. He's like, this is what I've heard. I'm not joking this time. I'm drinking the regular stuff. I'm not drinking the house special. And they're like, well, I can't believe it. And you see one of them get up to go get more ale.
I'm like, do you think they'd freak out if we told them there was soldiers marching?
Oh, so you kind of relay what you heard. You're kind of like whispering. Do you guys speak like, I always ask this, do you guys all speak like Celestial or Draconian so you can kind of speak in code or whatever to each other? Is there a language that you guys all share that's different than Common?
I have
Common and Draconic.
I have Celestial, Abyssal, Common, and Elvish.
Swami.
I wouldn't really think that through. I probably could switch one of them over to Draconic.
I can talk to the both of them. I got Draconic and Elvish.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pull an audible if you want to change one of them, Yuri. I'll let you change one.
Yeah, because I have 4 languages, so
yeah, just change one of them.
This really isn't one I need.
Yeah, either change like I'll let you do an audible. Just change it to like either Draconic. That way, you guys can kind of. I mean, the way this town is, what's the odds of somebody being able to speak Draconian or Celestial or whatever? You guys can kind of speak in code, so you don't have to worry about people really eavesdropping on you. So.
Am I the only one that can speak Celestial though?
Yeah.
Oh.
You might as well keep that one. We might need that.
Oh no, I'm not getting rid of that one.
Yeah, maybe the Abyssal get rid of, I would say, and maybe just do like Draconian. Because Swami, you speak Draconian, right? Jesse, I know you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because those guys cursed at you when you fought him last time. Remember, they said stuff about your mom, so you're like, "Hey, that's my mom." Yeah, you guys are like sitting there. I take it, Todd, you speak to them in Draconian. Uriel, you tell them what's going on. Like, hey.
Yeah, I'm telling them that they're talking about all the shit happening on the roads, and the one guy that they're calling crazy is saying he heard that the armies are marching, and just different things like that. It's basically all the shit we've already seen, but
they're just rumors here. Once we tell the mayor can then distribute the news, because we're just some 3 random bros at the moment.
Yeah.
Rose is like, what are we going to tell the mayor? Are we telling the mayor everything?
Well, this place is about to be attacked, and really, there are some kidnappings going on, and
all right, and you see her like sipping her ale. She's like,
yeah,
we don't really want to let them just get destroyed when we know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's true.
Caravans should be armed when they leave and all that stuff. But mostly is we're going to be attacked here. The planned date time.
As you guys are like drinking, you see, this woman come in. She has this full plate on when she comes in, and except she doesn't have her shield, but she's got her sword and her helmet's hanging off her back. She comes in, and as soon as she comes in, you see everybody do the I follow thing where they all follow her as she walks through the bar in her plate of armor, and goes to the bar, talks to Uncle. He hands her ale. And then he does the same thing he did to the mayor. He hands her he gives her 2 ales, and he does the same thing where they exchange parchment. She just stuffs it in her, she reads it and then stuffs it in her belt. And then she's holding the 2 ales. And as she walks past you guys, there's like one table in the corner that no one was at. As she's like walking back to it, you see this kid just burst in the door, and he's got his sword on, and he's wearing these same clothes. These are like really nice clothes, and he's like out of breath. He's like, huh, huh. And then he sees her, and he's like, oh, and then he gets really quiet, and then he goes over and he sits at the table. And she goes over and sits at the table with him and she passes him, slides him an ale. And you guys, without rolling, you see her do this. She goes like in his, like passes him and then goes, mm. And he goes, yeah. And so she passes him the ale and then she starts drinking. And you see everybody like it's like the record scratch. And then when she sits down and drinks, like everybody starts talking again and murmuring and stuff like that.
I'm like, man, that was a tasty looking morsel right there. Mm.
The kid
really
or the kid or the knight?
Smart ass.
What? No, I don't know.
Man.
I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying. What did
Hey,
that helmet with the horns?
We'll accept you either way.
Yeah.
That helmet with the horns just kind of.
Yeah, she doesn't have the shield, but like I said, she's wearing like the full thing, and she's sitting there drinking, and you see her pull the parchment out that Uncle gave her, and she's got a couple more with her at the table, and she's reading them, and she's sliding them over to the kid. I know they got to introduce themselves. I just want to put their name up there because they have strange names, and I did not want to forget them and have to look through notes. So just pretend you don't know her name yet. But yeah, she's there. And yeah, you guys are like sitting there, and everybody give me just do a custom roll of 1d6.
Or
Three.
4.
Okay.
Oh, 5.
You got a 5. Oh, just a 1d6. Oh, there you go. Oh, it just came up on my end. Oh, you got a 6.
Yeah, I got a 6.
You guys notice that it's happening really quickly. Like both Swami and Uriel, you notice that people are like, everybody starts bringing their cups up to the bar and putting them upside down on the bar, and then everybody starts walking out. And when the first group of people like open the door, you notice it's dark, and so everybody starts filing out, and nobody's saying anything. They're like murmuring. The people that have kids with them are like, they're grabbing because they're young kids. They're like grabbing their kid's shoulder and like they're like, walk, like calm down. And they're like, okay, and like they're kind of like all filing out of the bar. And Uncle,
I'll go up to Uncle
Hmm?
and ask what's happening. It's like, why is everybody leaving so quickly?
Oh, it's a celebration of the dead over at the Brass Crab. So people are getting ready for the ceremony. You don't have to go, but I mean, you're more than welcome as long as you're respectful.
Oh, all right.
How long has it been? Didn't she tell us to wait here for 30 minutes and said she'd be back?
It's been about 45 minutes.
Okay.
Well, 40 minutes. I'd
Well,
say 40-ish.
How about we go finish off our drinks here and then
Head over
go to that festival, I guess. Meet up with the mayor later. Find her there.
Okay, as you guys like file out, like you put your, you guys put your like, do you keep your cups on the table?
I'm asking the other two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah, let's
I have
go.
no issue with it.
All right.
I do exactly what everybody else does. I turn my glass over just like everybody else and walk out.
Yep.
You guys walk out. Rose does that. You guys all walk out, and as you guys look, and when you get, I'll do the map again. When you guys get back through, as you're coming out of the fishbowl, you see like it looks like the whole town. Everybody's just filing towards the Brass Crab, or they're going like past the village circle down to the docks on the other end. So they're basically coming at the Brass Crab from the east and the south. Basically, like people are starting to encircle the Brass Crab. Some people are going inside. Some people are staying, outside. Some people are staying in the whatever. But everybody's kind of like bunched up around it. So I don't know what direction you guys want to. What direction you guys want to come to it from? If you want to try to go through the bar or go, around the docks to the east or the south, it's your guys' choice.
I just say let's go in the straightest line.
Yeah. Beeline over.
Okay, so you guys kind of come from the east. You like loop around.
I don't know.
That would be
beeline in.
That would be the straight line from like the fishbowl to just go straight down, southeast. I would say.
Perfect.
Yeah, you guys kind of go down there and you see, as you guys kind of, there's actually fewer people on here because they're lined up around the coast, and you see the mayor there, and she's just shaking people's hands and they're handing her these parchments, and you see, as you guys, people were filing out, you saw the knight and her squire go out, and they're standing in front of the mayor, or next to the mayor, and they're also receiving people and getting these parchments, and like they have like an old beer cast, and they're sticking these parchments in the cast, and so everybody's kind of lining up right on the pier, and you guys see two. You see this this half orc stand there next to the squire that I showed you, next to this guy. So there's no picture for the mayor, but there's the knight, the squire, and then there's this half orc that you guys looks like they're dressed exactly like Tarek was, like in these kind of like plain robes, and he's just standing there, and he literally has a rope for a belt, and he's standing there and he's shaking people's hands, and he is a half ogre, so he's like huge, and he's like shaking people's hands. They're walking by, and you see two boats tied to the pier, right off the pier, and there's like all the braziers you guys saw, there's like double that on the pier, so enough for people to walk through, but you can feel the heat as you're standing on the pier from all these pole bracers that are around. And you see two, like I said, these two like single rowboats, but you can tell that they're incredibly ornate. Like these are nicer, like you wouldn't take these out to go fishing. These are like for a ceremony, obviously. And yeah, you see everybody kind of gather around there, and that is where we're going to end it for this session because we're kind of running low on time, but we'll pick it back up when we start next week.